Hello everyone, welcome back to Demon Bluff. Still, I mean, this is just the demo slash playtest or whatever. Still just kind of cruising through these. Well, I don't know. The game is getting more challenging. We finished Ascension 2. I failed a town once, and I've made numerous misguesses, but I guess you have to lose 4 towns in a single... I got my life back. Okay, so at the end of each Ascension, you start again with 4 life. Okay. But going pretty well. Learning all kinds of complicated cards, that's for sure. There's a lot happening here. Okay, we have a Puka and a Poisoner are the problem cards. And they're both in. So you're claiming... Oh, do we have Wretch? No, Drunk. So you're claiming the evils are 2 cards away, which 1 card would be adjacent. So 2 cards is like these 2. Okay. You're claiming that the Scout is good. Okay. Sure. I don't really have any idea who to aim at with the Slayer yet. Now we're looking exciting. Puka and Poisoner. Those are the 2 I have, right? Neither one of them is like claiming the Witch or something. Okay. So one of these 2 is evil. At least one. Like, one of them could be the Drunk. We might have no real Scouts. But we definitely have at least one evil fake Scout. Druid. Well, that would help me locate the Drunk, hopefully. Okay. I mean, I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm going to solve this without flipping the last card, even though that gives bonus points. Like, what could I possibly do? I mean, I could slay you, and if you were evil, then you would also be evil, probably. Although, maybe not. Maybe you're just a drunk. Yeah, let's just flip the last one. Alchemist, you cured a corruption. So, drunk... You're corrupted and you lie, and you can't be cured. So... In order for the alchemist to cure 1 corruption, for this to be true, you would need... Well, that almost has to be true, doesn't it? Where could you put the Puka that the alchemist wouldn't restore 1 corruption, right? Here, in either of these 2 places, this would be a lie because he, like, is corrupted himself and his ability doesn't work. So it's not one of these 2, if this is true. But if the Puka is in one of these 2 spots, then yeah, this guy or this guy will be corrupted and then cured. If it's in one of these 2 spots, this guy or this guy. So this is true unless he's adjacent to the Puka. And who else do we have? I forgot already. Poisoner. Oh, sorry. I see. I forgot. These guys both give corruption. Okay. So it's actually kind of hard for the alchemist to cure just 1 corruption, isn't it? Like, not impossible, but pretty hard. The alchemist, like... Where are the evil characters that the alchemist can only reach one of the things they've corrupted? Could be like these two. I guess if this were the poisoner, I suppose he could cure 0 corruption even. If we no, because this forces you have to hit one. Yeah, so like this would be a corrupted person. True. So it couldn't be like these two. Sorry, it could be these two if there would be 1 corruption. If it were these two, it couldn't be. I guess it could be one of these two poisoning this one or this one. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's just ask, is there a drunk among the scouts and alchemist? You claim no. Could be false, right? Maybe this is actually the drunk and this person is corrupted. Could be. Or this could be an evil person, a liar. All right, I'm just gonna try shooting one of the scouts. I really don't know. Well, no. I should try this. Are you telling the truth? Supposedly. So, if this is true, then this is true. You cured all the corruption of these people, which was just 1 somehow. Possible, but difficult. Like maybe these two could be the evil guys. And like this could be a drunk. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's just stab someone. Got him. Okay. Well. Stab the other scout? Nope. So this might be true. Oh, wait a minute. Am I stupid? I haven't even used the Slayer. This person is lying. They could only be corrupted if this were the puka, or I guess they could be the drunk. Because the poisoner can't poison both of these people. So for this person to still be corrupted, you'd need another source of corruption down here. Which is possible. This was a real scout. You... I don't know. I think you're making it up. I think you are the puka. Nope. It was you! You were a drunk. I don't know. Difficult game. So Bob puts a fake outcast in? Yeah, and you make outcasts, but you sit next to one. You're a real knight, huh? Well... I don't think there's any way they could be a good guy. These guys just make outcasts. They don't make liars. There's no drunks. Yeah, I can kill this guy. Okay, looks like you are a real knight. You are a truth teller. Fine, I won't then. There are no corrupted characters. That's true, right? Nobody makes corruption? Well, there's a plague doctor. There might be a plague doctor. You appear evil, but not corrupted, right? Yeah. Okay. One of these two is a counselor, which would mean they sit next to an outcast. Could be you. Okay. So I think this guy's a bad guy. Probably. And there can't be a plague doctor. It's impossible. Wait a minute. There isn't a plague doctor because no one has disguised themselves as plague doctor, and plague doctor wouldn't disguise themselves as anyone else. So this is true. There are no corrupted characters. Which means you can't be evil because all the evil characters would lie. So you're actually good. If you're saying one of these two is a counselor, I mean, that's impossible, right? You're a good guy. And you aren't sitting next to an outcast. So you can't be a counselor. So this is a lie. But could it be that they're mistaken? No, right? We don't have a plague doctor. So you are just evil. And therefore, you are not a counselor. So it's one of these two. Wait. Yes, it has to be you. Because you're the only one sitting next to an outcast. But just in case. Yeah, what do you know? You couldn't kill him? Might that be because you're evil? Yeah, this is a much easier village. The difficulty varies, for sure, it seems. Even among, like, the same level of village. Some setups, it seems like you have no choice but to make some guesses. And some, it's like, well, you don't. Okay, the shaman makes a duplicate of a villager. Okay. The bishop shows you up to 3 characters, including a villager, an outcast, and an evil. Okay, whatever. One of these two is a shaman. Oh, yeah, the deck, of course. We do have... We have a shaman and a puka. A baker. So one of the other villagers is going to become a baker. If this is a real baker. They could be corrupted by the puka. And what's the other new guy? The shaman? Yeah. You were a lover. Is that even a real thing? It is. I mean, I remember what lover is, but I wasn't know it was in our deck at the moment. So doesn't that mean I'm now going to get another baker? Because I just revealed a baker? I'm the original baker. I hate this game. Ah! Okay. Great. So doesn't that mean one of these two is going to also claim to be a baker? No. So this one I revealed. But it didn't add another baker like it was supposed to. So it's a very suspicious baker, but not necessarily evil. It could have just been corrupted. Which I guess means it would be lying about what they were. There's an awful lot of alchemists today. I mean, with Shaman, you know, we could have made 2 of them, and one could be fake. But I don't think they can all be real, right? Anyway, so this... If this had been a real baker, we would expect one of these to turn into another baker, unless they were 2 bad guys and the outcast. The drunk. So, is that possible? Yeah, outcast drunk. That would mean no one else was lying. Except whoever's adjacent to the puka, I guess. Also, right, if this were the puka, that's another way this could just be a real baker. Because their ability wouldn't trigger when we flip them. And they'd lie about what they used to be, I think. If you're a liar, you claim a random villager role. Okay, so what's this about shamans here? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is only village 2 out of 7, really? Oh, man. I have no... Ask this guy? That's true, huh? Not so sure about that. Well... This is a real baker. Right? Because if it were a liar, they would say, oh, I used to be a lover, even though they're the first baker we turned over, and that's transparently false. So this is a real baker. Which means... At least one of these two did really become a baker via this effect. No, because you could be the puka, making this person and this person both corrupted. There are 2 alchemists though who would claim to fix this, and they can't both be evil. Ah, maybe that's a starting point. Can all of these alchemists be fake? Yes, but only if they're like the 2 evil minions and the drunk. In which case, this person would not be corrupted, right? Because nothing that tries to corrupt them reached. And... in that case, this person would be telling the truth, which would mean this can't be... If these are the 3 evil or non-villagers, this one can't be the puka. Because that would lead to a contradiction over here. And if this were the minion and this weren't the puka, this would be the puka. So the only arrangement that allows all three of these alchemists to be fake is minion, puka, drunk. What consequences does that have for me? Or not minion. What's the other bad guy here? Shaman, right. Shaman, puka, drunk. So this person would be lying about their original role, which, whatever, doesn't really tell me anything. I mean, that seems possible. But it's... Otherwise, at least one of these alchemists is real. Which would make it hard for all of these people... all these other villager roles to be messing with me, right? Because they would get cured. Well, no. I guess, like, if this were the puka, none of these alchemists would be curing anybody, but nobody would be corrupted, so I guess that would be fine. So, like, I think it's hard for this person to be corrupted. But I guess that doesn't matter. What I care about is how truthful these guys are. And, like, how could these both be corrupted? It would be tough, right? Impossible, even. There's only one puka, and you can't be adjacent to both of these. So if one of these... In order for this to be false, this would also have to be false, which would mean, like, one of you is corrupted and the other one is evil. Which just seems difficult. I'm going to say, yeah, you're the shaman. Okay. Great. So you are lying. You did not cure 2 corruption. Well, you're telling a falsehood. You may be lying or you may be mistaken. Corrupted, right? Because there's nowhere that a villain could stand that you could cure 2 corruption. In fact, I knew all, even before I found this out, I should have realized this could not be true. So you're either corrupted, meaning you're either the drunk or the puka's right here. Or you are yourself the puka. This just because this is false. Ah, and also, this is true. And so was this. So these are good guys, and they're not corrupted. We know you are the baker as well. So where is the puka? Adjacent to none of these characters, it would seem. Right, you are a good guy because you didn't lie, so you can't be the puka. But that's impossible. No, it's not impossible. You're the drunk. Because there's no way an alchemist could cure 2 corruption from that position. So you are the drunk, which means there is no alchemist because drunk can only choose unused roles. So you are the last evil person. Yeah. See? Drunk. I love logic puzzles. Who is this weirdo? A puppeteer. A villager becomes a puppet. It's evil, but it can't lie. So you have to execute a villager, even though they're telling the truth. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. Both, like, morally and in terms of making the game harder. A scout. Okay, fine. There's 3 evils. 2 of them are villagers. What do we have today? Poisoner and a puppeteer. And a bunch of stuff. Okay. Well, you guys both agree this is a good guy. I'll just speculatively write that down. It's probably true. Tough for you both to lie, right? What do we have that lies? Nothing. Just these guys. I shouldn't write this down. I think they're probably good, but I shouldn't mark it. Pick a character, learn if they're lying, okay? Learn an outcast. The only outcast is Doppelganger. Okay. So this, by the way, means adjacent. So you're claiming the two evils are adjacent to each other. Another druid. Could be a doppelganger. Copies a random in-use villager, right? Yeah, okay. And a jester. I mean, this seems pretty legit. You would need quite a number of colluders for this to be false. Is it impossible? I think so. We just have a puppeteer and a poisoner? How could both of these guys be lying and you also be lying? I don't think you could do it. No, you could. Puppeteer here poisoning you, and then you be the other guy who I've forgotten already. Yeah, this be a puppeteer, one of these poison the other one. But if that were the case, that would take up all of our minions, our original evil characters, not counting the puppet, right? Which would mean no one else could be lying. I mean, this could still be true, even if we had an evil down here and an evil here, because one of them is a puppeteer, and we could make another puppet like here or something, right? Okay. Well, where could an outcast be? It would be one of these two, right? A doppelganger. I want to know if this jester is telling the truth, because this is the only person who I am almost certain is a good guy. Hang on, is this really what I want to do? Yeah, because they might be poisoned, right? It would be nice to know if what they say is true. Lying. So there could be a poisoner among these guys, or you could be a bad guy. Okay. So, how do I actually find anything useful out from this? The only person who could be an outcast is like the other druid. And if you actually, I don't know. So I guess I could ask both of them about this group of people. And if they both say yes, they're either both good or both evil. Yeah, let's try that. Oh, you even tell me. You claim there's a doppelganger in there. Okay, well, do you claim the same thing? No. Oh, this game is so hard. It's not even true that they're both good or both evil, like I thought a second ago. Because one of them could be poisoned. Okay, we have 8 cards. That's out of 10. So there's 2 not in play. What are they? I don't know. Maybe Doppelganger's not in play, maybe Druid's not in play, maybe any one of these is fake. It's a total mystery. Okay. So you think you're lying? But only one person in this whole village is poisoned. Right? And you are claiming this. You two disagree, and I'm pretty sure that you're good, whether you're telling the truth or not. So if you're poisoned, then no one else is, which means one of these two is evil. But what if you're not poisoned? What if you're telling the truth and this person is lying, either because they're poisoned or because they're a bad guy? I don't know. Okay. You... and you. You claim these are both non-evil persons. Well, y'all can't both be poisoned. One of you could be evil, and the other could be poisoned. But then this person... Okay. It kind of makes sense, I think, for you to be the poisoner, maybe? Poisoning the jester? Because then all these people are confirming the jester, fine. You're saying the jester is lying, truthfully saying that. You're lying and saying there's a doppelganger, when really this is the real druid. Who says, nope, there's no outcasts. And then you could be the puppeteer, let's say, making this person also evil. I think well, I have a jester to use first, I guess. So how could I disprove that scenario? Well, if you're lying, I mean, it won't tell me much, right? How many are evil? So if I think you, let's say I think you are the 3 evils. What should I ask the jester? Let's say... Okay, I think you're evil. Let's ask about these two. There's one evil. Well, that's what I thought. I don't know. I'm still killing this guy. Ow. You're the doppelganger. And you claimed you were actually... You claimed you were a druid. How do I look at that? It should tell me, right? I thought you were supposed to be able to see, like, what something's original... Oh, this? Here we go. Yeah, so that was a druid. Which means you really were the druid, because there's a druid in play for the doppelganger to copy. So there's only 1, 2, 3 things left to be evil. You are lying, I think. Well, I guess I never really proved that this jester is good, but it seems very difficult for him to be evil. I'm dead. Why did I think this guy was true? Oh, wait. Oh, right. I proved you were telling the truth, but with puppets, that doesn't prove that you're good. Because puppets still tell the truth, but they're evil. I see. Okay. You got me. Keep going. Doesn't seem like I'm going to make it through Ascension 3. There's a wretch. Gotta remember that. You're a real judge. Well, they are a judge. Maybe real. One of those two is a shaman. So shaman gives us a duplicate villager, right? Yeah. You're a wretch. We don't have a witch, do we? No. Another judge. We don't have a doppelganger either, right? Or a drunk or anything? Yeah, so one of these two is a evil person. You think you're next to evil. So suggests maybe you. Let's suspect you. Another hunter. One of you is evil as well. And a slayer. Okay. Well, that's something. So, yeah, let's just try to kill this guy. No. No one's corrupted. So if you're a real slayer, then this is real. Hang on. You can't be 4 cards from the nearest evil. That would put the 2 evils here and here. But we know this counts as evil, but isn't actually. And there's at least 2 other evils. So... yeah, you're just a liar. I hate you, right? You can't be corrupted. It's impossible. And you can't be telling the truth. You're evil. Okay. And what were you originally again? You were another hunter? So this hunter could be real. Indicating this judge, perhaps. But... oh, right, there's 4 evils. Jeez. The 3 actual ones and a puppet. Oh, also, I'm stupid. That deduction was... No, that deduction was fine. But there was a different one that was a problem. Shaman makes a copy of a villager. And after we proved that this hunter could not be a true hunter, the only thing we have a copy of is judges. So actually, these two judges are both real judges. Furthermore, you're telling the truth. Not necessarily evil, though. Not necessarily good. You could be a puppet. So the fact that you couldn't kill this guy, yeah, that makes sense. In fact, I could have known it without clicking on you, but I didn't. Well, you are claiming that this person is the shaman. There are 2 liars left. And 3 evils. You say you're 1 away from the closest evil. If that were true, you would be evil. Oh, also, I don't know that these are good, just that they're both real judges. One of them could be evil. But they're real judges, and they're not corrupted. So I can use them to find out if these other statements are true. That's false. You're a liar. The only explanation for that is that you should be murdered. Got him again. So this is true. Do they count themselves as 0 when they're evil? I don't think so. Does this tell me? Why was it saying can't reveal something is blocking me a second ago? I've noticed it says that when you go to this menu for some reason sometimes. Oh, is it when I mouse over that before the animation of it flipping? Yeah, I see. Interesting. Okay. So this is true. Oh, well, You could be evil. You could be the puppet, right? Okay, what does the jester have to tell me? How many of these characters are evil? I don't know if you're telling the truth, so I'm not so sure how useful this is. I already know you're lying, so including you makes the jester more detailed on a smaller number of people. I know you're telling the truth, but I don't know if you're evil. Hang on. I know you count as evil. So with this, I can get the jester to tell me about a specific person, whether they are good or evil. He may be lying, but at least he's telling me about a specific person. Like if I ask you if you yourself are evil, what does that tell me? Well, you won't give me the true number, which is 3, but you might give me 2 or 0. Yeah, I'm going to have to call BS on that one, buddy. Okay, you are 1 card away from the closest evil. Now, here's the problem. I don't have any way to find out among all these characters who's evil, who's the puppet. I have no information. I just have to take a 2 out of 5 guess because I used my information on the wrong stuff, I guess. Am I missing something? Random adjacent villager. Okay, I'm not missing something. So it's you. Pick one character and learn an evil role. If the character you picked was actually evil, it's their true role. But it'll always say, oh yeah, this guy's evil, and this is their role. But it might be wrong if they're actually good. If they're evil, you find out details about their evil doings. Okay, 4 is good, great. One of those 3 is evil. Who's even in this village today? Counselor and Puppeteer. Excuse me, that's a second gemcrafter? Okay, there's doppelgangers around, I guess. Could even be a drunk if the other gemcrafter is evil. He's a minion. Is this my second empress? It is. Okay. So that means there's definitely a doppelganger in here somewhere, right? Well, no. We could have an evil player acting as an empress and another one acting as a gemcrafter. Okay. Also hunter, though? That's hard to believe. So this bombardier is real, right? I don't know. Maybe it's possible that... I think disguise... Yeah, disguised characters can claim to be outcasts. They don't have to be claimed to be villagers. We've seen that happen. One of them claimed to be a confessor a while ago. In the last episode. So I don't know for sure that this is a good person. There's 3 evil? And you're claiming you aren't adjacent to any of them. It's possible. You're 2 away also. Those could, in theory, both be true if these were the 3 evil characters. That's a little hard to believe. That couldn't be true, actually, because then they can't both be true. Because then you would be lying about this person being good, and there's no explanation for how you could come to lie. Right? So one of these 2 is lying. That doesn't necessarily mean either of them are evil. Does it? No, one of them could be the drunk. Outcasts are the worst. Everything in this game is the worst. I said it could be true if these were both... If these were both true, it would be these three. But that's impossible. Because you... No, that's true. You would both be 2 away from... Right. Okay, sorry. Stupid. Okay, got it. This would be telling the truth in that case. This would be lying, which makes sense. This would be lying, which makes no sense. And that's how I disproved that idea. If this were a puppet, they would actually do executions for me, right? They're not corrupted, they're just lying. No, they're evil. They're not corrupted or lying. So the puppet and the puppeteer are adjacent to each other. And the counselor and some outcast are adjacent to each other. So I'm sort of looking for clusters of weirdness, but I don't have any idea what looks weird about this. I just know some of these hunters are lying, so... No. Well, I see. Hang on. It can't be the case that these are both good. I was saying, oh, one of them could be the drunk. But that's not possible. Because the drunk can only choose roles that aren't in play. So if one of them is the drunk, it can be lying. That's fine. But then the other one will also have to be lying. Because there's no real hunter. So one of these 2 hunters is a minion, I think. If I had to guess, they're the counselor, since they are adjacent to the bombardier. But that's not a guarantee. They could be the puppeteer and the doppelganger could be elsewhere or something, right? Next to the counselor. So this is actually true. Well, maybe not. Oh. A lying empress always indicates exactly 3 good players. Never, like, 2, apparently. Interesting. So this can't be a lie, because we know one of these characters is evil. So you're good. And this is true? And one of these is the drunk. Because only one of them is evil. Okay. You still could be lying? Could you? I don't think so. Because you're good. And you're not the drunk. Yeah, you're telling the truth. So one of these 3 is evil. But here we don't know which one. It could be any of them. This could be the lying hunter. This could be good. This could be a puppet telling the truth. And this could be good, for example. Or this could be someone claiming to be a bombardier, while this hunter's evil. This one and this one are both good. That could happen. But you're good and truthful. You're just truthful. And one of you is evil and lying, and the other one, not sure. Well, but you're... Hang on, wait a minute. Right. Yeah, So these are both... Neither of these are minions. One of them might be a puppet, or it might be the real Empress and a doppelganger. But they're both villagers, right? So one of these is the doppelganger. Is that true? We know they're telling the truth. And they're both villagers. Yeah, that's true. So there's no other doppelganger. So one of you two is a liar. Which means everybody else, everybody who's not tagged yellow right now, is truthful. Most importantly, that means that Slayer has their ability, right? Also, because we know the doppelganger is an empress, no. I was going to say we knew that there was a drunk that was one of these other roles that we have a copy of, but that's not true. There could be a real hunter and a minion hunter. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, that's not true either. I was thinking that, oh, these two have to be both evil because the puppeteer has to be next to an evil person. But either one of you could be the puppet, as far as I know. Or no, does it have puppet have to be a villager, doesn't it? Yeah, so you can't be the puppeteer. Or does it say if possible? What if there is no adjacent villager? Doesn't say. Maybe the game can never be set up in such a way? I don't know. Can I ask you to kill yourself? Just in case you're the puppet? I don't want to do that, but could I? Interesting choice. So if you're telling the truth, it would be these two that are evil, which would be interesting. Well, no. What, maybe it would just be you. So, is there a drunk? That's a question. I think the answer is I don't know. Because there might not be any real hunters. This might be a villain, and this might be a drunk. And likewise for gem crafters. And so I don't even know if there's any real hunters or any real gem crafters. Well, wait, except this person is saying number... It's been forever since I looked at these. You're saying number 5 is good, huh? Could be true. But what if you were the puppeteer? Then you would be evil, right? I don't know. I want to see if you're allowed to kill yourself. Do I really? No, let's kill you. Got him. Oh, you're dead too then. Okay, so now you were a gem crafter. So you are either the real gem crafter or a drunk. Either way, you're a good guy. And I don't think I can tell which, right? But you are good, right? Because this can't be the counselor, because I know he's not fake. I know the counselor is one of these two. Oh, but you could yourself be the bad guy. And then I guess I'm not sure what you would be allowed to say in that case. You, though, well, right, because okay, I know these are both, one of them is telling the truth, because the other, they're both two away from each other. And the other one is lying because they themselves are the evil. Okay, well, I guess I can mark you as good at least. That's something. Ah, right. Now I have more information about this. Yeah, okay, I knew that. Thanks. I mean, it's partly thanks to you telling me this that I knew that, but... Aha! This is what I was supposed to look at. I know you're good. I know you're really a bombardier. And so you must be the counselor. You're the hunter. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! What? Well, you're the real hunter. Am I wrong about... Everything I've done has been based on these empresses. Did I make some deduction wrong about them? Okay, let's check. So you... Okay, well, let's mark you as good, I guess, but... Like, you could be the drunk. This could be false information. But don't you now have to be the villain? No, the reason is, I'm double checking this because assuming what I wrote down here is true, yes, you're the villain. But what if you're the doppelganger hunter and you're the villain, right? No, because you truthfully said you're too away from the... Oh no, that would work. Yeah. If you're the doppelganger hunter, you would have to be the villain. So is that possible? Could you be a villain? I don't think so. Well, maybe. Because you could just be making this up. But it says if you're lying, all the characters in your info are good. That checks out. If you're lying, if you're the evil counselor, and you're the drunk... Does that all work? Yeah, it does. So what if you... were the counselor? That's impossible. Because you are not next to an outcast. We know this is a hunter, and we know this is a puppeteer. So you really are good. You're good. Why is it that I think you're good? I haven't marked it, but this. I know you are good and truthful? Why couldn't you be the drunk? Seems like you could. There could be no evil in here. If, like, you... Wait, I know you're the puppet. Okay, hang on. I know where the puppet is. I don't have to think about people who are confirmed. But I don't have anyone who's actually a confirmed role, right? You could be the doppelganger, but you can't be a drunk. Because I know there's a real hunter. You could be the drunk, and this could be fake, but I've marked you as good for sure. And also, therefore, truthful? No, because you could be the drunk. Couldn't you? Why not? Then you would be the villain. And this information... Ah, but drunks always lie. Well-known sociological fact. Oh, executing the drunk only costs 4, huh? Interesting. So, if you were the drunk, you would be lying. And there would be no evils in here. Which would mean this is not evil, but also not the drunk. And that's impossible. So you are not the drunk. You really are a truthful empress. One of these 3 characters is evil. That's very difficult to believe. And so if I've marked you as good, that would make sense only if you were the doppelganger. But you would still have to tell the truth, which would make you the evil one next to the bombardier, which seems fine and jives with this. And this. Yeah, I guess it all adds up. Let's kill this guy. I lose. You were the drunk, and you were the... Okay. Last chance, I guess. And I have to get like 4 wins in a row. I wouldn't put money on it. I have found my difficulty level, apparently. Plague Doctor does corrupt characters. So this might be a real knight, but it'd still die when I stab them. Oh. 2 Plague Doctors. Well, one of them is not real. Okay, well, let's make a note of that. Okay. 3 evils, because we have a puppeteer and a poisoner. But that means there's 2... Well, perhaps as many as 2 corrupted characters. So just stabbing a knight out of hand seems rude. Just try killing this guy. Missed. So either you are evil or you are evil. Because if you were good and you were good, that would mean you were evil and this guy could have killed you. Unless he was corrupted, I guess. Oh my god. Yeah, I guess the Slayer might be broken. I mean, all of this sort of adds up to this guy looking dead, right? The Enlightened says evil's clockwise. This guy couldn't kill this guy, suggesting he might. I mean, it's not like a guarantee, but. I'm just going to kill him. Yeah. Sounds about right. So this is true. Therefore, you were not corrupted. Which means this knight is corrupted. And you are a poisoner. But you still have to do what I say as if you were a plague doctor. So you're corrupted. Oh. I guess that's true. I sort of thought, oh, when I point to a real corrupted character, he'll have to do his job as a plague doctor and tell me who's evil. But of course he can just lie, because he's evil. Okay, very funny. So yeah, this character is corrupted, which is true. But then you claim they're also evil, which is impossible. Fine. You're good. Because your closest evil is clockwise, not equidistant. Pick 2 characters. Is this a real plague doctor? Yes. No, sorry, an evil one. Ah! I forgot we have a puppeteer. So wait a minute, this was a real plague doctor. But you said they're evil. You liar? How is that possible? Are you corrupted? No, the poison. Yeah, you could be. Plague Doctor might have poisoned you. Also, I guess you could be evil. Couldn't you? If you were a puppet? Like if this were a puppet. If this were a puppeteer, you could be a puppet. And you'd be lying, because actually evil is equidistant. I see. How many of these jerks are evil? 1. Well, I still don't know if I believe that. Okay, well, we do know that this character is corrupted. That is truth. Tell me who's evil, and don't point at this guy, please. Ah! You're a good guy. What? This is the poisoner. Oh, I guess both of these should probably be lies, right? You're actually good and not corrupted. And so this person lied about where the closest evil was. Because this person is a liar. You're evil? And also you? No, you told the truth. This person was evil. This is a puppeteer and this is a puppet, I think. Nope, I'm dead. This game is too hard, man. So who was corrupted? You. Right, the poisoner poisoned you. Okay. Yeah, restart. I don't know about that. Certainly that's enough for this video. I probably won't do another one. This game's been fun, but I don't know if it's the greatest content. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.